In this tutorial, I'll show a set of smart components setup. For an example, I know we will move this object a lot. So first of all, I want to make sure I can get the object every time to this position. So I'm going to use a positioner. So for that, let's go add component a positioner, and from the properties, actually I want to make sure the position of the part 2, and it is basically 0 0 0 with respect to the world coordinate, and I can apply this one. And from here I know I got a part 2 position 0 0 0, and quickly I can make an input, since that one is a cylinder, so I can make a cylinder, and maybe okay, and then basically I can add that thing, and you will see the changes. I got to the right side, and I know, for an example, if we are not getting that piece, and then from simulation we can go IO simulator, and that's how basically we can bring it here. And now if object moves anywhere, right, so then we can bring it back. So yeah, we got that thing. Now the next one I'm going to use is basically a collision sensor. So to do this, I'm going to go to station logic, and I'm going to use a collision sensor from there. And here basically I want to see if object or part 2 is basically colliding with maybe the robot first. Then maybe I can change to the gripper again to see the changes. So yes, gripper, and first of all I'm making the near miss 0 millimeter, so that I just exactly want to see if part 2 or the cylinder is colliding with the robot. So I'm not doing any other thing here, so I can do apply. So if I go back to design, then I should see the collision sensor, so part 2, and object is robot, and for now near miss 0. I'm not seeing anything here, but what I'm going to do basically, I need to make sure from the simulation setup, this was, yeah, in this situation continuous will work better. So I can go there, I can go back to, and then basically maybe I can play it. So let's play, and we will really try to see the changes we're getting here. So if we play, and since I used the continuous one, it will work continuously. And if I select the object and if I take there, then maybe I will see some changes there. So yeah, this didn't collide yet. Yeah, but if you see, if I just take it or bring it close to the robot, then you will see some changes here. And we will see sensor out is one, that means it collides, and the collision type is basically it is really colliding. And then for an example, if we want to take this object to any other place of the robot, then we can see some other changes. For an example, if we take it down and take it back, then we will see some changes here. So what I can do, maybe quickly, um, I can stop it, and from station logic, I can add one more component, and that is basically the highlighter that will show the color. So if I add the highlighter, and then so maybe the color is the red, so that we can differentiate, I can click apply, I can go back to design, and what I'm going to see here, basically part 2, and is the object 1, and whatever the part 2, it should come as object for the highlighter, and it will be the red color. So if we go back to collision sensor, and this time if I play, then let's see what are the changes I can see. So for an example, if I come here, you see, I got, because I'm using a highlighter which is the red color, and if I take it back and if it touches to other, yes, so it is basically touching the that part of the robot. I'm getting a color if I go back there, and yes, and so on and so forth. For an example, whatever the position we're seeing it is touching, it will get different color. So that's how the collision sensor will work. Then the next one is basically I'm going to talk about is the line sensor. So yeah, before starting the line sensor, I was thinking I can also quickly show about the collision sensor, but this time I want to put some number under near miss. So if I put the value 50 and if I want to run it one more time, yeah, I need to make sure I'm applying. And then if I play it, let's see what are the changes I see. So if I go there, I'm not seeing anything yet because this is not on close to 50. And let's see, this is great one. So what they're showing, even they didn't touch, but it is turning to red color because this time the collision type is near miss. That means the object is within 50 millimeter radius, and that's how it is creating that piece. And if the thing is, if you just take it close to that one, then you see the collision, how it is changing. So first of all, now it is none, the collision type. If you see the left side under the properties of collision sensor 2, then we'll see collision type is none. And then when I'm bringing it closer, still is not touching, but it is showing collision type near miss. And then when it is going, it is touching, and the collision type is basically changing to collision. So that's how we can also use sometime near miss if we want that, okay, the object will even not come closer to any part of the robot. Then basically we can use that function. Now we will see like how we can set up the line sensor. To do this, first of all, we would need to take line sensor. So I can go to station logic and I can add one line sensor. Yeah, I know it is showing LineSensor 4 because I used a couple of time before. So I'm making it, I'm renaming it as LineSensor, showing like, or assuming I'm using the LineSensor for the first time. And if I go back to this position and select line sensor, then we will see like there is a default line created at 000 position with 100 millimeter length. So if we want to drag it and bring it back, then we will see there is a line created. So a couple of things we can change, but to do that, first of all, we need to close it and we need to come back to line sensor. And that's how we will see the updated position of the line. Then let's change the length maybe 200. I'm just making it up. And other than just seeing a single line, I want to make it a little fatter, maybe 5 millimeter radius. And enter, then you will see a line created here. And then if I want to close, then we will see that is the status now. Uh, so far, I'm not seeing any kind of sensed part because I'm not seeing anything touching the line sensor, right? So maybe then I can choose the object. And if I want to go, and if I want to take it close to the line sensor, then I can see what are the changes. Okay, so to do this, first of all, I need to play the program. So if I play the program and then if I take, yeah, you see the changes. So no touch between the line sensor and the object. That's why we're seeing the sensed part as blank. But if I just bring it close to, or if I touch the object to the line sensor, then basically I'm seeing, okay, LineSensor 2 is sensing part 2. And again, the pollution sensor, if I want to highlight the color, then we can do that. So to do this, maybe I can go and take another highlighter. And this time, yeah, the line sensor is here, and where is the highlighter? Your highlighter is here. So whatever the object I'm sensing, I want to see with a different color. So maybe this time I'm making color, I don't know, 200 and 100. I'm making some color. I can apply and let's go back and see what are the changes I get. So if I just play it again, and if I take the object and you see the changes I'm seeing, right? Um, and that's how basically we can set up the line sensor. Now, another interesting part is I can close it and then I can take the line sensor at the tip of the robot. I know some of you already noticed I have made the smart gripper invisible, right? So that I can show how can I take the line sensor on top of the robot. So I can just drag it and drop into the robot, and I can say yes, then we will see something is here. Now the fun part is if I want to take the object close to the line sensor, then maybe we will see different type of changes, because if you remember, my collision sensor is already there. So, and it has its what is that called, like there is a minimum 50 millimeters. So I also want to see what type of collision the collision sensor can sense. So if I want to play it, let's see. And if I want to take it close to the line sensor, let's go to line sensor, and let's go to line sensor. Okay. And I can click anywhere to make sure. Okay, so if I want to see the change here, so yes, and yeah, so I'm seeing the change of the color, but if I want to take it to the robot, so that is honestly an interesting part, because if the object is sensed by the line sensor, it should change the color. And if the collision sensor sense the object with the 50 millimeter radius, then it should also change its color. So that's how this one is a nice representation where we can show both the collision sensor and the line sensor works perfectly. So again, based on the function, we can decide either do we want to use the collision sensor, or we need to use the line sensor. Now I want to talk about the setup mechanism of joint mover. And if I see joint mover, basically will ask the mechanism. And for an example, here I am using the robot as a mechanism. And for an example, if I use the tool, then I will see tool basically has no, the specific tool I'm using doesn't have any joint, but the robot has total 6 joint, and that one is the robot. So what I am basically planning, like the robot will come, it will pick, and then any of the axis will rotate with a specific angle to go to a specific destination. So to do this, and I want to complete the whole cycle maybe in 5 seconds. So that's why the duration is 5 seconds. And if I want to rotate axis 1 or joint 1 uh, 60 degree, and maybe joint 3 30 degree, and maybe joint 6 another 45 degree, and then I would need to apply. And if I go back to station logic, then I will see those number got updated for the robot. And I connected it to the attacher to the execute because I want the robot will move right after attaching the object. I know I use some other station gate here, sorry, logic gate here, but I'm not going to use them now. Now let's go back and make sure I'm synchronizing it to the rapid, and I want to play it now, and let's see how it works. For an example, yes, it is speaking, and then basically the joint mover started working, and it will take the object to the specific destination that is achieved by the rotations of axis 1, axis 3, and axis 6.